The greatest power you possess is your ability to choose. Join Lowe's Moore as he reveals how you can begin to maximize that power by exploring yourself on the deepest levels and committing to making lasting and positive changes. Get ready to achieve breakthroughs that will lead to accelerated growth and transformation, because you are now tuned in to The Blueprint.
Why they actions contradict the lamb. I'm fellowshipping when I'm with the fam. That's more relations, that's foreign.
Good evening. This is Lowe's Moore, and welcome back to the Blueprint podcast. Man, I want to say from the start, let me say Happy Father's Day. And let me tell you, I was literally the other day or doing earlier in the week, man, I was having a moment. Right. I was having a moment. My wife was trying to calm me down, because it just seemed like during the course of the Father's Day and that weekend that we are celebrating fathers, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, man, I was having a moment, man, because I realized that Juneteenth had fell on Father's Day, even though they're going to celebrate it tomorrow, man. I wanted nothing to interfere with Father's Day, man. And I was really having a moment. And it, on the 18th, my grandson Dakota turned 2 on the 18th. So we, party all day, 2-year-old party, man. And then all of a sudden somebody started talking about Juneteenth. I was like, man, on Father's Day, man, I was having a moment, man. My wife was like, calm down. Yeah, we celebrating Father's Day, right? And you know what I was excited about? I went up to City Island. I said, yesterday, I said, my wife asked me, what do you want to do? I said, man, I love to go over to City Island, right? And we went to City Island, man. And man, I don't know if it was as packed as if it was Mother's Day, but I was excited because so many people was out, right, celebrating Father's Day. I was encouraged because usually you can get in a restaurant. I mean, let me just say, one time we went on Father's Day, we went to a restaurant, man, that is always packed, right? And we got there, man, I think it was Joe's Crab Shack, right? Joe's Crab Shack. And when we got there, man, there was no line, man. You could get in there on Father's Day, man, with no waiting line. But if it was Mother's Day, man, there'd be no way you was getting in there. So I was really happy today, man, to see that people really turning out for Father's Day. So I want to say Happy Father's Day. And I got to pay respect and honor to, number one, my grandfather. Number two, my father. Right. And I'll say father-in-law, but really father, right? Lloyd Wallace, my father-in-law, my father, right? I want to pay tribute to him as well. And then James Jones, who was a mentor and father-like figure for me growing up. And man, look, they were just the best, man. And I'm thankful to all the men who sold into my life and was a blessing to me to help me become the man that I am today. So again, Happy Father's Day, right? And I think I want to pop up there. I think we got something on Juneteenth too, right? We got a thing on Juneteenth. So I want to say, hey, we are free, right? We're celebrating our freedom, although sometimes we don't feel free, right? Even though we celebrate it. And now it's a holiday that we celebrate on this Monday. So again, happy Juneteenth, happy Freedom Day, and enjoy the celebration, right? But we still got a lot of work to do. And so without further ado, man, let me jump right into it. I got some books of the week, and Ibrahim X. Candy, right? He did an interview on the Good Morning, the Today Show on last week. I was so impressed. Whereas, I just had to get the book raising an anti-racist. Right, I was so impressed with him and his book that I actually got the book and started to read it. Right, and I actually got the book down at the bottom for young people. It's a bedtime story, and Good Night Racism. Right, if you haven't, go on YouTube and bring him up and look at some of the comments and interviews that he has. Just because you got to raise, right? You got to raise people up to be anti-racist, right? We got to change the mind and the thinking of people, and it starts in our mind, right? That hopefully we enter into our hearts, and then we got to train. I mean, we got to train young people, right, not to be racist. And so these are two very powerful books, and coming on this day, which is Freedom Day, which is Juneteenth. These are just two very powerful books that you should have in your library. I've been saying this for the last 2 years. You should be a library, right? You should have your own library, right, in your home. You should go to the library, but you should build one in your home, right? Your kids should be able to go to the bookshelf and pull off all kinds of books that they should be reading. And so that's my book of the week. And also my word of the week is anti-racist, right? And, we should be anti, when it comes down to racism, right? And we should be fighting for this. And that's my word of the week. And then my affirmation, I got to read this clearly. It says the beauty of anti-racism is that you don't have to pretend to be free of racism to be an anti-racist. Anti-racism is the commitment to fight racism wherever you find it, including yourself. Including yourself. And that's my quote, that Pierce Harper affirmation quote moment for this week. And all these things kind of fell in line with Juneteenth. And so here's my my music and movie of the week, right? And I just had this song on my mind, right? By Brandon Victor Dixon. Can I close the door on love? Can I close the door on love?
Need to sing it to Losie.
Well, yeah. I had to just throw it in there because I had to listen to it like 3 or 4 times from the play, the musical Motown. Can I close the door on love? If you haven't heard that one, man, Brandon Victor Dixon, man, was amazing in Motown, and I'm glad to call him a friend.
When are we gonna get him on the show?
We already had him on the show.
Oh, he did.
We got to bring him back. We got to bring Brandon back. And you see the movie over there, 88. It's a new movie. It streamed this past week. I need to, you need to check that out. It's called 88. Man, very powerful movie. And that's Brandon right there with the glasses on. And I'm excited that Brandon's doing real work. And hey, I got a special guest. Let me pop in a special guest here. I got 2 special guests right here. I don't know, Dakota turned, I don't know if y'all remember Dakota, right? But Dakota turned 2 on yesterday. Yay! Right? And I remember I had him on the show. He was just a baby. You want to say hello? Say what's up?
Say 1.
1, 2, 3, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Woo! And then if Sherelle will pop her head in here, right? That's the old married woman. She's been married for about 4 or 5 days now.
Yeah. 10, 11.
11 days. Once you go past, once you go past 1 day, 2 day, you old married woman, old married man. All right. So we're excited, just excited, man. So many wonderful things happened. And Dakota turned 2 on yesterday.
He loves his pop.
Right? Man, Pop loves him. That's my buddy. I like hanging out with him, man. He's the best. And so I already mentioned Juneteenth, right? And I want to give a real shout out to Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors. Man, Steph did something unprecedented, and in this day and time, was that he won 3 MVP awards this season. He won the All-Star MVP. He won the Western Finals MVP. And then he won the Finals MVP all in the same year. I mean, that's some awards for you right there. And my guest tonight, I mean, I like to say I was a good basketball player. My guest tonight was a real good basketball player. So we can attest when we see a guy like Steph Curry doing his thing, and also we can appreciate, he's around our height, when a guy is like 6'1", 6'2", 6'3", and playing like that, man, when you're a guard, you appreciate somebody playing like that. Now I have to say, my guest tonight, he wasn't Steph Curry, but he was close. Man, if you leave him open for a minute, and he had unlimited range, right? I was so impressed in high school, man, when I think I was maybe a sophomore or a freshman. I think maybe I was a freshman, right? When I was a freshman, man, I mean, I seen one of the greatest shows in high school basketball was My Guest versus Sam Williams. And it was you talk about 2 shooting dudes, two scorers, man, that was a shootout at the OK Corral. Right. And I loved it because they weren't just your basic players, man. They had handle like Steph. They had the shot like Steph, man. They were just 2 amazing guys, man, but they were way before their time. Right. And so a shout out to him. And of course, again, a shout out to Dakota, happy birthday. I said it was coming. Right. So happy birthday to Dakota on his 2nd birthday yesterday. Man, that time flies. He was a baby, and all of a sudden he's 2, And here's another thing on Juneteenth, right? We must never forget, right? We must never forget. We not going back, right? We not going back to the old times, man. We are moving forward, right? And I don't know, maybe I got a few more. This shout out here. Happy birthday to Carla. Happy birthday is Lincoln.
Royce.
Royce. I get confused, man. Father and son look so much alike. I get their names twisted. You always get names twisted when you don't see them all the time, man. We rarely see them. They're in Pennsylvania. But happy birthday to Royce. And then down at the bottom, there's Malia. Happy birthday to Malia. I think their birthday was all on the same day.
13th.
On June 13th, man. They all had a birth. Man, that's unique there. All them individuals in your family. And they happy birthday anyway. Right? Happy birthday. And I love all them, man. They just awesome. I hope they had a wonderful birthday, right? And I think I'm through.
That's your family.
Oh no, here's just a little picture from today. I think it is. We were out for Father's Day. We have City Island, and that's the crew out there, right at City Island. Kids, grandkids. Man, just awesome, man. Look at that, man. Beautiful day, man. Perfect day. Now, yesterday was cold, but today it was just beautiful out there. And I love all them, man. Look at that right there, man. Woo! Love it. I love it. I love family, right? I love family. God bless my family. They make me happy, And so right now, Next week, we have Billy Mitchell, the legendary Billy Mitchell. If you ever been to the Apollo Theater, right, or you ever been for an educational or visit to the Apollo Theater, man, I'm not going to say Billy was there since the inception, but it almost seems like when he was there when the Apollo started. He's been there over 50 years at the Apollo Theater. He's Mr. Apollo, and he's going to be visiting me next week. Man, I'm sure when I was a little kid, right, I think of my 13th birthday, right, my Aunt Dolores took me to the Apollo Theater. I didn't know where I was going. Matter of fact, she pulled that one little hair I had on my chin when I was 13. When I thought I was a man, I just kept rubbing it. 3 little hairs, just kept rubbing it like that. And she said, "Oh, you got some hair on your chin?" And then she just grabbed the 3 hairs and ripped them out, right? But later on, she took me down to 125th Street, right? And I didn't know where I was going. And I happened to look up, and there was the Apollo Theater, and my favorite entertainer of all time was performing, James Brown. I forgot all about those 3 hairs she ripped off, right? And man, did James Brown put on a performance. And I didn't know Mr. Mitchell at that time, but hey, I'm sure he was probably there. And so I'm looking forward to spending some time with him next week. So let's get rolling here, right? I want to show you this video, and then I will introduce my guest, and we'll be in it. Mm-hmm.
Dear Black man.
Dear Black man.
Dear Black man.
Dear Black man.
I know that the world wants to portray you to be a certain thing, but I see you. You are beautiful. You are smart.
You are valued. You are a king.
You are someone's love, someone's light.
You are a friend, a lover, a father.
I see you guys out there being providers. I see you being loving.
Young men like my son could look at you and say, if he did it, I could do it.
Your past does not have to define your future.
The struggle is there, but at the same time, we believe in you.
Sorry that the world sees you sometimes as a scary person. You're not scary. You're someone's son, you're someone's husband, and I truly love you.
You can do it. I value you. Don't let nothing stop you, because young men are looking up to you.
You are very necessary. Never forget that, because we need you.
I will always be here forever as your queen.
Awesome. Now, I welcome my guest, the one and only Morris Crute. You got to unmute yourself there. You got yourself on mute down. Oh, there you go. You good now. You good. Hey, let me say this. If you know Morris Crute, right, we probably wouldn't be calling him Morris. Maybe you might say, "Hey, Crute," but if you really know him, you know him as Pumpkin. Now, I don't know where the name came from, but man. So tell us where that name came from, man. How did you get Pumpkin?
That's my grandfather used to call me that when I was a kid. When I was 5 or 6 years old, and my mother started calling me. And the only one today called me that is my wife.
Oh, man.
If they say that, they have to know me way back. So
yeah,
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, well, I remember that. You know, I'll tell you, I'll never forget that game with you and Sam, man. I think it was at the old Yonkers High School, right?
Yeah, it's old Yonkers.
Yeah, there's Kathy Jordan saying, "Hey, Pumpkin."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Kathy was she's like a sister to me, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm telling you, man, I was a little guy at that high school game, man, watching you and Sam go up and down the court, man. And y'all was pulling from everywhere. And I was thinking, like, coaches let people just shoot like that?
Sam was tough. You know that. Sam was tough, man.
Yeah, so were you. You know, man, you guys are legends in my mind, man. I mean, and my godson, we do some work. Well, we used to before the there you go. Happy Father's Day, Lowe's. The only one question for Pumpkin, how did he stay in the air so long and only jump 2 inches off the floor? Oh man. Hey, let me tell you something. One time we recent, now this is recent, before the pandemic, we were playing on a Saturday morning, right? And Morris came. I invited him to come over and play with us over at the gym on Saturday. And man, them guys could not figure him out. Man, they swear that he was walking. Because he do that, he pick up that little speed and then go slow, that slow drag.
Yeah.
And then hang in the air like Paul said, you like 2 inches off the ground and just holding the ball there, just holding the ball. And they done jumped 3 times and you ain't jumped yet. Oh man, yeah. No, he was impressive, man. See that Paul go way back. Paul Sherrill, Mount Vernon. He goes way down past the Paul. And see, he remembered. He remembered you, but yeah, that's just awesome, man. So man, I got so many stories, man. We've had so many battles too.
Right.
Back in the day, man. And you were just amazing, man. And here's another story. One day, sitting in the house, man, and my godson comes in. He said, "Man, I'm down at LA Fit, man, and there's some guy down there, man. I think let me see, what's his name? Name Morris." I said, "Morris Crute? Pumpkin?" He's like, "Yeah, that dude, man. He said he was killing Gus, he was killing Ray, he was killing you, like that." I said, "Morris Crute? Pumpkin?" He's like, yeah, man. He can talk all he wants, and he believe what he says." He's like, "For real?" I said, "Yeah, believe what he said." I said, "Look, we ain't, I ain't gonna, we don't mind him getting off. We mind him winning." You can have all the points and shots you want, but we got to win the game. That's the most important thing, But so Morris, man, we've been hanging out for a while. So I got 3, and we're gonna get into one of these questions. Right. But the first one, talk about family, man. Talk about growing up. Talk about mom and dad, siblings. I mean, just talk about that experience growing up.
That was my savior. My family was my savior. I made a family when I was young. I was in high school and made kids and didn't realize nothing about supporting them or taking care of them. I just was so excited for kids. And when I used to come home, they used to always jump on me. They didn't know nothing about you. Just come home, daddy. They gave you that feeling like, yo, I got to be there for my kids, man. And I always thought that was my savior because I never got in no trouble or nothing because of them.
Right.
I did a lot. I love ball. I always just played ball, ran back to them. Played ball. I wasn't even going to school. Just played ball, ran back to them. Took any kind of job. I would work I did everything. Make sure that my kids have stuff that I didn't have.
Right.
I always think about that. I always tell my son, I didn't raise you, you raised me.
Yeah. But let's go back a little bit even further than that, man, because we're gonna get into your kids and your love for the kids, man. But talk about the experience growing up with your mom and that experience.
Well, I was born in Chase City, Virginia, man. We left there and I was 9 months old, come to Yonkers. I didn't have no father figure, man. It was just my mother, 6 of us. I watched my mother struggle, any kind of job. When they come from the South, most of them didn't have education. They did what they had to do to make an honest dollar. So, and back then, the drugs and all that was out there. For some reason, I didn't want to get into that. I had, everybody has some drug people in their family, and I had it in my family with my older brother. And I was just watching, man. I'm in 4th and 5th grade, and they was messing with drugs, man. They was 12 years old, man. 12, 13 years old back in the 60s, man. I watched that. And that's what that helped save me, because I never drank, never smoked. Only thing I did, I just didn't like school. For some reason, school didn't interest me. And and I realized that was one of my big downfalls. But my mother, she loved me because I never got in trouble. She always said, I got one son, don't never get in no trouble, because I was trying to play ball and running. I used to run track. I was a track runner. I was a good in track, but there was two people I could never beat in track, though. I said, every week I would be down in Glen. You know what the Glen is in Yonkers? It's a big park. Every week I'd be down there. I'm going back when we was in elementary school. I would always win my heat, get to the finals. There was these two guys. They beat me all the way till we finished running. If I see them today, I say, y'all think y'all can still beat me? Because I never beat these two guys, man. They would always be first and second, and I would always get third. And that's how it started with the sports, with the competitive stuff.
Yeah. And, I always admired in terms of having our conversation, right? I was always intrigued because, many prominent people from Yonkers, even a few of the basketball stars in Yonkers, ended up somewhere involved in some type of drugs or some substance abuse situation, man. And I was always impressed, man, that you didn't do any drugs or alcohol. I mean, I was always impressed by that, man. So
I don't know. I just felt that I was already slow in school. I wasn't really learning nothing. People taking advantage of me because of my education, but I always had a good heart. I always felt if I treated people right, they really can't. I really can't say too much things about me. I didn't realize about as you got better in certain stuff. As Black people, our problem was when we seeing people that was getting better than us, we tear them down, not knowing you're tearing yourself down at the same time. So they're looking for strength in each other. We start looking for weakness, and they go after the weakness and try to tear each other down. So when I saw that at a young age, and I loved them, my friends. I would never want to do nothing to hurt them. I always wanted the best for them, and I didn't realize that wasn't the same thing coming back to me, because I was better sports guy than them. But I put a lot of work in. People don't know, man. My friends, when they was going to them clubs, I was running hills. When I realized the key to the game of being good at anything, you have to put work in, the running. That's the hard part. But when you got on the court, it was a lot of fun, because now you did all the work. You was the only one never getting tired. So you can guard the best player, run up and down the court. It was fun. I always tell people that when I try to train kids today, it's hard to get in condition and be conditioned, but it's a lot of fun later on. You get benefit for it. And that's what I try to teach today with kids.
Yeah, and we're gonna definitely get into that. I mean, I don't know if you experienced what I experienced growing up with your mom. Growing up in a single parent home, my mom my grandmother would call and say, "Hey, man, you take them children to church." I mean, she's always. So did you have that? Did you have that situation?
I had a church every Sunday. We started off, we go in there. She didn't say nothing. On the first day, we were young. I was like 5th or 6th grade when we started go to church. We sat in the back. She started seeing us sleeping. She would bring us to the front. In front of the church. My mother was tough with that. She go to sleep, she wouldn't say, just walk up to you, bow, right in front of everybody. Just slap you, bow. You ain't sleeping in here. That was, that's how our family was. It was about church. It was about the prayer and all of that.
Right. Yeah. And then, one of my 3 questions that you started talking about a little bit earlier, and I want to go back to it. 3 powerful questions. The importance of family. So, and then you were just talking about the importance of faith, and then let's go back to now. You mentioned it a little bit earlier. where you were talking about your love for your family. Talk about your wife, right? Talk about your wife. Because if I don't ask you a question about your wife, you don't talk about your wife. You maybe you talk about me.
Best, man.
Yeah.
We started to get on together when we was in 6th grade.
Oh.
Most people didn't think we were supposed to be together because I was aggressive. She was quiet. She was good in school. She was always on the honor roll. It was like, what is she doing with him? What is she doing with him? But she knew that I with all my downfalls, I always had a good heart. When I say something, when I say I'm doing something, I'm doing just that. And I always, tell her, me and you be together for the rest of our lives, man. Just do the opposite of what our families did, what our parents did, and and you'll see the difference.
Right.
It worked out, man. It worked out, man. I probably wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for her.
Wow. And you know what? I got to be honest with you. When I seen you play, and then, in high school, and we started to compete in some of these tournaments, in Yonkers, between Yonkers and Mount Vernon, man. The way you played was like so aggressive, and with such intensity, I got the impression, man, like you were like a thug dude, man. I was like,
that's what everybody thought, man.
Yeah, man. I was like, man, we had to fight this guy, man. There was no way in the world, like my mind, that Morris Crute was a nice guy, man.
Yes, I had
Oh, yeah. You had grown man body. You and Ray Williams, y'all had grown man body. Yeah, y'all were built like, in high school. I'm like, man, you had a college body, man. Fit college physicality, man. I was like, man, this dude is strong, man. Yeah. Yeah. So I always, that was, there was no way in the world when we finally started making connection and communicating, man, I was like, man, that image of you playing, right, was not an image that you carried into your normal life, man. I mean, you were just trying to win and be competitive, man. So there was no way in the world I thought Morris Pumpkin ain't nice, man. He ain't no nice guy, man. He wanted to kill us out there,
I always tell people, why y'all judge me? Everybody thought that. Why y'all judge me for a 2-hour basketball game? Basketball was 2 hours. I was always a better person in basketball, but nobody never knew that.
Right.
Because I was always getting judged for basketball. I made it this far in life because of my character, and the way I carried myself, the way I treated people outside of the basketball. Basketball was a game you had to be aggressive. Especially in our time, everybody was good.
Right.
Everybody was good.
Oh, yeah.
We had no days off. So
yeah, and there were some guys, man, that I met, and I got the impression through their game and the way they carried themselves that they were nice people, but they weren't doing nice things. I mean, it was just, yeah, and so it was totally the opposite. So yeah, I always say don't judge the book by its cover.
Right.
And something I really want to get into, and I think, man, if you guys are really listening, I want to get into with you, and I think it's so important today, is the importance and power of education, the importance and power of education, man. But before that, let's go back to before I get into that, because we really gonna get into this. But go back to your family today, man. You talk about them, the kids and grandkids, and yeah.
It's my son. That's his wife. My daughter. That's his daughter. This is my granddaughter and me. I'm telling you, they're beautiful, man. They're all friendly, man. You met them. That was recently. That was just at our graduation. I was down here a month ago. My last granddaughter just graduated out of high school, and it's a lot of fun with them, man. And they always say, "Why you be yelling at the graduation like that?" They always come at me because I know where we come from. Y'all don't know where I come from, and I'm looking at this, and I'm a big part of this. And I'm a proud grandfather, man. I must say, man. My son, my daughter, they did very well, man. My son used to be kind of tough on me because I was hard on him about education, something that I didn't get. And when I put him in Catholic school, he was like kind of mad. Dad, I want to go to public school. Don't worry about that. Just get education. I shot enough basketball for me and you. I always tell him that.
and still shooting basketball.
I still play. I told him to play till I die. But he was kind of bitter in the beginning, but now he looks at me and goes, "Man, Dad, you was right, man." I used to tell him that, especially at his time. Kids wasn't serious about basketball like we were. We took it serious. We were running. Everybody was going out running and working out. Kids ain't doing that no more. They not running, working out no more. So I said, tell them when your friends is not serious about it. So don't worry about that. So his last couple of years, he wanted to go to a public school. I said, okay. So he thought he was going to go to Gordon, Yonkers High. Those are the top schools for quote unquote all the tough blacks go to. It's supposed to be the ball. Nah, you going to Saunders. Saunders, that's a trade school. They never win no games. But everybody come out of there got a trade.
Right.
You got to take a test to get in there. So I said, either Saunders or you going to Sacred Heart. And you got to pass the test to get in Saunders. He goes, "Oh, Dad, you going to Saunders or Sacred Heart?" So he takes the test for Saunders because he knows that Saunders plays against Yonkers High and Gordon and them. So he goes to Saunders instead of Sacred Heart. I never forget, he comes home with his basketball uniform. "Dad, I made the team." And I looked at him. I said, "This is going to hurt him as much as it's going to hurt him." He wasn't serious about ball, and I'm serious about education because I got treated bad because of not having education. You get labeled. So I said, "Nah, Jerome, I don't want you playing ball, man." He go, "What?" I said, "Man, give me the uniform. I'll take them back to the coach." And I know why the coach gave them to you because that same coach was there that saw me at Yonkers High. And I went back to the school, walked in the gym with the uniforms in the bag. And I walk up to the coach and he goes, "Hey, Mr. Crute." I said, "How you doing, coach?" I said, "Is my son good as me?" He go, "Oh, no way, no way." I said, "Well, here's his uniforms. Do me a favor. Don't mess with him with no basketball." He turned red. He couldn't believe I was doing that. Let my son get education, man. I said, "It didn't do me no good because I didn't get no education. So please let him get education. Let's leave him alone with the basketball." He couldn't believe that. My son was hurt. He felt hurt. I was hurt too, but I had to do what I had to do. Most people in my situation, they wouldn't take any kind of job. I could have went and sold drugs. I could have probably went to jail. I could have been, because when you play ball and you're on the street, that's what the drug dealers look for because everybody know you. I've been offered big stuff about drugs and all of that. But my thing was I had the 2 kids and it wasn't about me no more. It was always about them. Once I made them, my mind switched. It was about them because to me it was, that was something. Kids, that's mine. Yo, I was cherishing that, man, from day one. When everybody was saying, it ain't mine. I cherished mine. I was like, what? That's a kid. He ain't asked to be here. I love that. And that's why I always say that they raised me.
Nice. They change you.
Yeah.
Hey, man, kids do that, man. My wife and I, we, back in the day when we had our first daughter, it was like when you first have your first kid, and once my wife gave birth, it's like they always been there, right? You just you can't see yourself without them. It's like, yeah, and it does change you, man, because it's like, wow, man. I mean, God's given me an opportunity, man, with such a precious jewel. And man, I got to be good with this, right? And then especially when you don't grow up in the perfect scenarios,
right?
So and then like like my son-in-law was just saying to me, he said, "Man, I didn't know, we learning to be fathers because we don't know from based on our fathers.
Right. I learned to be a father. Nobody taught me that. I didn't have nobody. I just knew that I had a thing where you could learn from anybody. Just do if he's whatever he's doing and don't look right, just do opposite. I always try to find the easy way to make things work.
Yeah.
Nothing was complicated to me. I looked for the easy way to make it work. I didn't look for nothing hard.
Yeah, man. And I want to jump into this really a curiosity conversation, man. And something we talk about often, and some, our boy Pete, right? He even said the other day when I was speaking at this men's Zoom event on Friday, and I shared in my book, from the Lowe's More from the Boys and Girls Club to the NBA Life on the Narrow Road.
My wife loved that book.
Yeah, no, thank you.
In a book club, I got that book and gave it to her.
And
interesting.
He was impressed and didn't know whether or not he could share what I had shared in regards to the domestic violence that was going on in the home, in my house, and also the problems I was having academically, that I was talking about, and I was thoroughly impressed with you, in our conversations over the years, and the things that you have shared with young men, in my presence and outside of my presence, you have shared with young men about your own challenge, and that's why in the promo I wrote a dream deferred, right? Because I know that you desired, with all your heart, right, to play college basketball and to play pro basketball, right? And I honestly believe you had the potential and the skill to do it, to play it easily at the college level, right? And the potential to be a pro basketball player with your skills and your mindset. But you had shared with me, right? And I want you to talk about your report card. I don't know, you probably don't have it with you, but you kept those report cards. So talk about those report cards and talk about the truth about them.
I have all my report cards from junior high school and high school. They were good report cards, and I shared them with my son one day. He's like, "Dad, the school need to be sued." I said, "For what?" I said, "It's my fault that I didn't learn." "Dad, but look, they put on your report card. Good read." He's reading them to me. "Good reader, excellent student. You don't even know how to read. But now they're gonna put that." I said, "Yeah, but Tron, that's my fault for not learning it." It's not your fault. You keep thinking everything is your fault. And then you move on. I said, because I always had a thing that you can't blame people for your shortcomings. You have to stand up to them yourself. I always believe that. But he figures that you young, the teachers have responsibility to teach you. And if they didn't and kept passing you, they were wrong, not you. So, and I never really blame nobody. And to this day, I wouldn't. Because there's a time, especially when you get in high school, you're in the 10th grade, 9th grade. You actually know what's going on. You know what's right and what's wrong. Mm-hmm. The average person do. And I knew that I was sitting in the back of the class and never caused no problems, be quiet, and they was going to pass me. And I knew that. But when I finished school and I looked around and there was nothing you had to offer, now it gets scary. It's called reality's hitting you in the face. Something my mother used to always say to me. My mother never came to really watch me play ball. She just tell me, "I never see you read a book. I never see you come home and study." That's what mom. And I didn't understand. My mother don't never come watch me play by his mother there. But my mother always knew that you wasn't going far without doing no studying. You don't read. You don't try to learn nothing. She always tell me that. And at the end, I came to her. I said, "Mom," she said, "when reality hits you in the face, you're going to realize it." And I told her. When it hit me, one day I'm sitting there and I just started crying, and I looked at myself and said, "You did it to yourself. Nobody did it to you." So, and that's how I just changed. Started wanting to work now. I'm looking for any kind of job to make an honest dollar to make sure that my kids don't have the same problem that I had. And I'm proud today to say, oh, my kids came out good. You know, I told kids, my son, don't worry about me now. I'm old now. I can go roll in the corner and go to sleep. Don't worry about me now. Look at God. They did good by me forcing them to play education, not sports. Not that I didn't want my son to have sports. I love sports. You know that. Mm-hmm. I travel right now. I drove to Florida last year. I drove from New York to Miami to go play in a 60 and over basketball game. Got in the car by myself and took off. How many people do that? You know, I said, my father's crazy. Nah, I just like playing basketball.
Yeah. And after high school, you know, you ended up graduating high school?
I sat on the stage at Yonkers High with a scholarship going to Westchester Community College with no education. I got in Westchester. Ralph Arrieta, he was crazy about me. He gave me, I didn't know, I always thought that I was somebody special. He gave me 5 classes in the gym. You got to have 12 credits each semester to pass. And I'm in Westchester. I look at it now and I say, what are you doing in college with a scholarship and can't read? But he gave me 5 classes in the gym. Each class was 3 credits. People don't know I didn't realize you need 12 credits each semester or to stay eligible for the basketball.
That's right.
So I had a golf course, 3 credits, football, 3 credits, basketball, 3 credits, and swimming, 3 credits, all in the gym. So I'm like, yeah, my chest is up and I'm balling. We put them on the map. We number 2 in the country. We were tough. But I was wondering why I never got no accolades. Never. No all conference, no all American. And my team was winning. We won our conference. They gave it to Kurt Austin, Kevin Pollins. They were behind me. I'm carrying them. After I left, Kevin Pollins calls me a couple of years later. He was from D with Clinton. I said, hey, Kev, how you doing? Mars, I call you to let you know I cursed Arrieta out for you. For what? Arrieta was good to me. No, he wasn't. We won everything with you. You carried us. We're not winning nothing. And all of the All-American, all of that came out, all conference, and your name ain't on nothing. And I went there and said, yo, Mars was the best in the conference. Why he ain't make nothing? And he told me, don't worry about Mars, Crute. He said, I was pissed. See, stuff like that, I didn't even look at it. I was just happy I was playing. They paid no attention, man. You Google Westchester in 77, there's no accolades for me. They wouldn't even they usually put the team picture in the gym. Every year they got the team picture in there. My year they didn't put that picture in there. And I was like, wow, I didn't realize that. When you get older, you realize, they were using you. He wanted to win. We was 35-2. We was 25-0 before we lost our first game to the last place team in the division because he wanted to play bench players. And once they got a lead, they froze the ball from the first half. They froze, just kept passing. When it scores a low scoring game, and they beat us by 2 points.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I think you had an opportunity. You were talking to me about one of my favorite all-time players was DT, David Thompson. And I think you got an opportunity to even go down to North Carolina.
I didn't realize that David Thompson, he's from Shelby, North Carolina. That's where my mother's from. My mother's mother is a Thompson.
Okay.
And that's where they from, Shelby, North Carolina. And when I went down there to a family reunion, once I got older, and I was playing ball with young kids, and they was like, yo, I didn't know you play ball like that. You should have met your cousin. I said, who? They said, David Thompson. I knew David Thompson from North Carolina State. When I was trying to go to St. Aug, I used to go with North Carolina State watching. He was tough. They said, that's your cousin. He's a Thompson. This is part of his family. And I never knew that.
Wow. And then I think you were down there competing with at that time, right? And you had a family helping you out, and you, yeah,
That's,
and they were like, man, you could play for North Carolina State, man.
yeah, that was Harvey Hartley. Harvey Hartley was the coach of St. Aug. And James Robinson, I love him to this day because he was part of changing my life. You know James Robinson.
Oh yeah, of course.
He, I was working at Graham's Children's Home at the time. And he was just riding around looking for me. One day I said, yo, you know James Robinson? Yeah, from Green. He looking for you. Why look for me for? So I'm in the square one day to cash my check. And he pulls up. He said, Crute. I said, hey, what's up, James? What you doing in Yonkers? I've been looking for you. Everybody going to college. Told me you ain't going to college, play no ball. I said, nah, I'm working, man. Oh, come on, go to school with me. I said, well, school where? St. Aug in Raleigh, North Carolina. So I said, man, I'm working. Then he goes, they told me you like to drive. At that time, I was crazy about driving a car. He had just got a brand new, his father just bought him a brand new little small Mustang. White, had vinyl top. He says, see my new car? I said, that's your car? He goes, yeah, you want to drive? I said, you want to let me drive that? He said, yeah, you can drive North Carolina, you go. I said, when you going? Tomorrow. I said, come on, come pick me at the mall. I didn't even tell my family. I didn't tell them nothing. I didn't tell the job I was leaving. When my family, my wife was working, the kids in school, I packed my stuff and ran out and jumped in the car with him. And he let me drive. Well, my family for 2 years, I didn't even call home, didn't come back. But I always appreciate Harvey Hartley because he always told me, he had a guy rooming with me. Because he couldn't believe. He says, when I first saw you play, I thought something was wrong with you because you at my school. You're not the best here. You're the best ball player I've seen in North Carolina. At that time, you had Phil Ford at North Carolina, Hawkeye Woodney and Clyde Austin at North Carolina State. You had Ralph Sampson. You had Jeff Lamb. I met all of these guys. These were the ACC. That was the toughest conference in basketball at that time. And I'm like saying, I got a small school. Didn't realize it. When he started telling me that, he says, you never played ball for me, but I want to keep you here because you got to get some kind of education. He said, that guy that we had in the room, he don't go to school. He was there to follow you because we thought something was wrong. What are you doing here? I was dominating down. I felt so good down there at Lowe's. I was down there killing him. So he tells me, we're going to help tutor you. His wife was the principal at Broughton High School. That's when they started telling me Pistol Pete went to Broughton High School. And I said, that was one of my favorite ball players. I didn't know he was from North Carolina. I started getting a little history about one of the guys, because I used to write his number on my sneaker, number 7. Pistol Pete wore 7. I always never forget that. I said, Pistol Pete went to school. Said, yeah, my wife is the principal at the Broughton High School where he went there. And she was, teaching. I didn't know what a syllable was, nothing. And she started teaching me. And I was feeling kind of good. That's when I realized the people in the South was different from the people up north. Up north, they tease you. You didn't have education. You try to read in the class, they laugh at you. So what you do, you shy back. You stay away from them situations. Down there, they was pulling their books up to me. They would read a paragraph to me and ask me to read read it back to them. And I was like looking at everybody. Everybody had their thumbs up. I would read, and it was clapping. And all I do was he said, just read after I read it, just read the same thing I read. It was just getting me used to speaking in front of people, which I never did. I talk loud on the basketball court because I can do
that. yeah, definitely.
I talk loud when we got in school, I was like, something, I don't know nothing, so I'm going to stay back. But I always appreciated James Robinson because it changed me. I used to fight. When I came back, I didn't fight no more. People called me names. And they used to always send guys in a basketball game. They used to try, let's get Crute out the game. Every team had a guy on the bench that didn't play just to go in there and give me a hard foul to try to get me and him thrown out. I would never let it work, though. I would never let it work. I would go to the ref. Yo, ref, this guy's coming in here just to foul. Just please watch him. I used to go to the ref on certain teams. I knew that guy didn't belong in the game now. And he comes right and he walks right up to me. And I go over to the ref. Yo, it's this guy coming in. Just want me to get thrown out with him. And they don't need him, my team need me. And it's to work. And I always tell people, if my attitude was so bad, how many times you saw me play, Lowe's?
Oh, a bunch of times.
You ever seen me get a tech?
Never.
And I always tell people, when people tell you about my attitude, ask me if they ever seen me get a tech or get thrown out of the game. I never got a tech through high school, through junior high ball. Never got put out of a game. But let people tell you his attitude this, his attitude that. I always explain to my son, don't let people tell you that. My attitude had nothing to do with it. My attitude got me where I'm at today, not education. My character and my attitude got me where I'm at today.
Yeah.
I got older, people started getting around me. They started saying, you ain't what everybody was saying you were. But it's a shame that people judge people for what people say, man. That's a shame, man. I would never do that.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, after hearing your story, man, back a few years ago, and we talk about it all the time, man. I was thoroughly impressed about your adjustment to go back home and work hard. And I think you started and remember that out there that this is interactive. So if you have any comments or questions, man, please shoot over questions or comments. And if you have it for Morris or Pumpkin or Crute, I'm sure he'll answer those questions also. And I was just impressed, man, that after coming back home, I think you got into a career of I think you got into I think you at one time you owned a used car dealership, and
I tried.
Used car dealership, and then DPW, where you spent your career there.
When I came home and tried to open up a car dealership, I guess because I thought small and I stayed on a small level. Like once I got my license, I didn't realize that most dealers buy a car half of what they're worth, but you got to have a dealer's license. So most cars that sell for $30,000, the dealer would go up there and get it for $15,000. So now he got all the room. So I was like, what? So when I got my license, I go up to the dealer's auction. I was buying $2,000 cars. I get the car for $1,000, $500. Have my son bring them back. Tell the dude, give me $800, $900 for it. My thing, if I had a car for 2 or 3 days that I paid $500 for, and I can get $900 within a couple of days, I was selling them. And my son said, "Dad, you selling them too cheap." Man, I'm making money, man. I'm making money. Then what happened? I ran out of people that I knew. Everybody in Yonkers had a car for me. Now, my son my son wanted me to learn how to be to finance cars. My son was old by me sending him to school. He was getting his education. He's seen things that I didn't see. And he said, "Dad, you can get a bank to come here. You learn how to finance the car. So if that car is worth $5,000, you don't got to give it to somebody for $2,000. You can fill out papers and show them how to get the money. You get the money for them from the bank and let them go. Now they owe the bank. You paid." But I wasn't paying it no attention. But after I sold everybody in Yonkers cars, I'm like, "Damn, everybody got a car." I'm looking around. Ain't nobody coming no more. I got to get a job. Nobody wanted to give me a job. My reputation was so bad in Yonkers. Nobody wanted to give me and I never did nothing. I screamed and hollered, but it was just over basketball. And nobody liked me for it.
Right.
So one day I told a guy, I knew a Yonkers police officer, and I went to him. And I said to him, "I need you to do me a favor." He said, "Why?" I said, "I need you to come to City Hall tomorrow. I'm going to go to jail, and I want you to be the one to lock me up because I don't want them to beat me up." He said, "What you going to do?" I said, "I'm going to sneak in City Hall, man. I'm going to hide in the mayor's closet. I'm going to tell them to give me a job and lock me up." He said, "Yo, man, I ain't doing that, man. You crazy, Crute." I said, "Yo, I need a job, man. I got to get me a job." So I went to the cleaning crew who cleaned up City Hall. I walked in one day and I asked them, "What time y'all come and clean the building?" "We come and clean this building at 4:35 in the morning." Okay. So I left. 4 o'clock, I'm outside of City Hall over in the bushes hiding. I watched them pull up, open up the door, bringing their buckets in, mopping the floor. I slid in on the doors that they left open, went in and hid in the mayor's closet. Only thing I had in my pocket, the year we won the county. We beat your school, Mount Vernon. They had me on the front page to the House Statesman, Crute man, Crute. I fold that up, put it in my pocket. This is my resume. And I'm in the men's closet. I watch the secretary bringing his tray in there, putting his coffee and donuts down. I'm looking through the door and I see all of this. It's finally I hear, hey, man, Zaleski. I said, here he comes. So when he walks in, I open up the door. I said, how you doing, man? Oh, he runs. And now I get nervous. I'm scared. He runs. Oh, come on, black guy, man. So I sit down, look at Jay Peaks, and there's some black guys sitting there. Then I know all these cops came bulging in there with their guns out. And one of the cops knew him. He said, yo, hold up, I know him. He said, Mars, what are you doing? I said, I just want a job, man. That's all I want is a job. I don't care what kind of work I do. I just want a job. So he goes, yo, hold on, let me talk to him, man. So he backed all the cops up. I mean, it was all over the radio. The cop that I knew that I asked to come up, he said, Mars, it was all over the city, the radio. Some maniac is in the mayor's office, man. You lucky that cop that went in there first, that was Richie Rubin. He knew you. Yeah, he did know me. And he told him, hold up, I know him. And he came in there as a Lesky, and he says, what can I do for you? And I said, look, man. I said, you see this paper? He goes, that's the Herald Statesman. That's the biggest paper in Yonkers was the Herald Statesman. I said, that's the front page. That's me. Had me like this, big letters, Crute man, Crute. He said, yeah. I said, that's me, Yonkers High, man. We won the whole county. And they never did that before. I says, and I've been in Yonkers all my life. Is it fair that I can't just get a job? I ain't actually what kind of job. Any kind of job, as long as it's a city job. And he goes, I see what I can do. And he gets up. I sit back down. I relax. He goes, sir, I tell you, I see what I can do. I said, Leslie, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do right now. And I know you can do either one for me. I can't leave out that door unless I'm going to jail or work. Now, it's up to you. You can give me either one. I'm willing to take either one. And I looked him dead in the face. He looked at me, Lo. He went in his drawer, never took his eyes off. He opened up his drawer, put out the application. He said, I admire your courage, fill it out. And I never looked back since that day, man. Mm. And that was that. I was lucky. I wouldn't advise nobody else to do it, but I.
Yeah, that's like, hey, when you see the commercial and the person is driving crazy and up on two wheels, and they got the little thing at the bottom. These are professional people. Don't try this at home.
But I remember when I first saw you when I was working, you told me, yo, Crute, I see you got your job on the contract. You was happy for me, Lo.
Yeah, I was, man.
When I first saw you, man, I said, how'd you know? Yeah, they told me, man. You always gave me that look like, yo, I'm happy for you, man. Then you said, I always asked you to come play ball with me. You always wanted to play against us. And you say, yeah, I just say, y'all the best. Why I want to play on a team that's beating everybody? I want to prove that I'm the best. I want to go against you. Like, you always just say that to me. Yo, come play with us, man. Stop wanting to play against us all the time.
Yeah. And so how long did you before retiring did you work for the city?
When you work for the city of Yonkers, you get a free check every year if you don't take a sick day. So my first 5 years, I got that free check. So we're Teamsters. So the Teamsters said, yo, we need drivers. Morris don't never miss work. Let's get in. So the union comes, no, I'm already a Teamster. I didn't know that Teamsters you could work directly for the union. So they come to me and says, Morris, if you work directly with us, the city's only giving you $25 an hour. You get $40 an hour. Our benefits are better. Come switch over with us. I switched over to the Teamsters and I ended up doing 30 years and I'm out, man. I got lucky, man. I got lucky.
30 years, raise your kids, put them through school. I mean, what can you ask? I mean, you've had people.
I had a good wife, man. I had a good wife. She when I was chasing that ball, she would always be. She was going to night school. She was working. You know, her mother was good. That was helping her taking care of the kids. So that played a big part. You know, and my wife just didn't bother me. She knew I was chasing basketball, going about it the wrong way. You know, I always thought because you was good, you go to certain places, they see you good, they grab you. When I realized they're not going to grab you like that. This is all about politics. You got to get people speaking for you. They don't care how good you are. If nobody's speaking for you, well, you're not messing with you. And took me a long time to realize that what made me go run and get a job once I realized that. And my wife was good because she let me go. She never bothered me. She let me go. Chase it.
Right.
Tell my kids, leave him alone. He realized he's doing it the wrong way.
Oh man, and yeah, man. I just thought, man, you know, us having this conversation and communicating like this for years, man, that it's just such a powerful story, you know, and I somewhat agree with your son, right, in regards to not, you know, it's not. Yeah, you might say, yeah, it's my fault, you know, but to go through school from elementary school to middle school and not know how to read, right, and then to go into high school. Now you know, you may know I don't know how to read,
I couldn't
but
teach myself.
yeah, but you didn't know what to do to get the help.
Right.
Right. And see, and I explained to you when I was going in my book, when I talk about dealing with illiteracy and not being able to read, right, going to the boys club back then, now Boys and Girls Club, you know, Mr. Jones, who was my coach and mentor, right, not just for me, but many of the guys, they used to bring in teachers, right, to assist us, to help us to be better in school when we were on the basketball team, and he demanded that you had no D's on your report card, right? He demanded that, you know, and if you got a D on your report card, you go in the dark room. We don't want to really talk about the dark room, but you know, the dark room. If you were on the Sonics, right? We had a little room downstairs called the print room.
Yeah.
Right. And it was nothing really in there. But when you were like in junior high school or something like that, playing on the team and you got a D on your report card, he'd bring you down before practice. And he said, "Come here for a minute, man." And then he opened up that little room and he just pushed you in the room. It was dark in there. Right. And then you get your butt whipped. You go to jail today, but you should, and it was your older peers. You know, you don't know who's in the room, so you can't go in there and say, hey, yeah, Johnny was in the, you know, Marshall was in the room. You don't know who's beating on you, but you just getting beat. And they saying, look, man, we don't get no D's on our report card. You know, no D's. You know, and you get beat down, you know, and you come out of there, no, I'm not going to get no more D's, you know. And then you can't wait till you got older, right? So you could go in the dark room. I'll get my licks back. You can't do that today, man, but we learn. You know what I'm saying? And then to have a mentor and coach like Mr. Jones, he went to the high school with me in the 9th grade, and he said he met with the counselor when my mom couldn't make it up to meet with the counselor, and he said Lowe's is going to college, right? But when they pull up my records and stuff, right, they said, well, you know, Lowe's not functioning at the 9th grade level. He's functioning at the 7th grade level. Then I asked the question, well, what can I do? And then it pushed them to help me. You know what I'm saying? But what you're saying is that you didn't have an advocate.
No,
right?
Nobody never wanted to ask to tutor me. I didn't think about asking nobody. I just
you don't know. You're a young man that don't know. right? And nobody was, since I was a little kid, the boys club was always talking about you have to be a good citizen. You could be a good student, right? If you need help, and most of us don't know to ask as a kid. We're afraid to ask for help. We want everybody to know that we got it all together. How you in school? Oh man, I'm glad my grades are good, man. Yeah, you knowing that you failing, and until somebody is there to advocate for you and push you to the place where you say, "Yeah, I really need help." Yeah, and that's what I talked to you about. In some instances, it could be your fault, but schools are there to educate, right? Not just you, but there have been many athletes who've been pushed through school, right? And I don't know if you remember that guy. I think he was in Arkansas,
Right. I remember
right?
that.
Remember he went all the way through elementary school, high school, went all the way to college, graduated from college, and couldn't read. He's a testament. He went all the way back. They had a picture of him back in the day. He went all the way back to elementary school. He was sitting in the little chair with the little kids. He forced himself to go all the way back to elementary school, middle school, high school till he graduated and learned to read. Remember Dexter Manley, right?
Yeah.
Right? Football player, Washington Redskins, right? He used to come home and his daughter used to always say, "Hey, Dad, read me this book." And he said, "No, I'm just too tired. Dad, you gotta just relax." And here it is. He graduated high school, he graduated college, and could not read a lick. Right? And he went back and learned to read. Right. So I'm saying a lot of us have been just passed through. Right. It's a shame, but a lot of us just passed through and is not right. Right. And what I'm saying, I'm proud of you because in spite of that, right, we just heard your story, right?
Yeah.
In spite of that, your wife was just up. What's the I think his wife was just up here. She put it up there. He said, "I appreciate the man that Pumpkin has grown to be. A great husband, great father, great grandfather." Right? It says, "We as parents have to advocate for our children." Right? I mean, love this interview. Similar to my story, Will Rogers, a former basketball player at Marvin High School. So there are many guys, right, who are like us. People look at the talent, right? They see the gift, they use the gift, but at the end of the day, man, we end up losing.
Yeah.
And only because we're strong, right, we're able to overcome by, like what you said, I just got to go to work.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes, I got to go to work. I got to make myself better. And if I got a family, I got to be there for them.
Normal people work. They say, Crute. That's the basketball name. Mars is the guy going to work. There's nothing wrong. I knew it. There's nothing wrong with most people work. So I got to be like most people now. Let's go to work.
Go to work. And I think we're going to show you some pictures, man. I do thank you for coming on, man, and sharing your story, man. We got
Coach Zinnerman, man. Look at that team, man. That was a tough team. We lost one game.
What school is that?
What school is this?
That's Hawthorne Junior High School.
High school? Yeah, that's
excuse me. Hawthorne Junior High. Miss Moore, you should know that.
Yeah,
man.
Practices.
That's junior high school. You look like grown men. You look like grown men out there, man.
Yo, all of us was dunking that basketball right there at junior high school. Look how skinny I was. I wish I can get like that again.
That ain't happening. Okay. Yeah, we go. I think we got some more pictures up here. Let's see. Man, that's the old school right there. You went from junior high to Senior citizens.
Look at that.
Yeah. Hey, let me tell you, Morris, how old are you, man? If you don't mind sharing.
67, man.
67. He's still balling, man. He's still balling. He be calling me up, man. Hey, man, you want to go play with me in the tournament? I'm like, nah, man, I ain't playing with you, man. Now he want to play with me. Oh, man. A few years back, I got to tell this story, man. Danny Bernstein from Backyard Sports had a 3-on-3 tournament every year. And I asked Morris to come play with me. And another guy, Rob Kestenbaum's team. And then Mike, what was Mike Coleman, right? Mike
Carriers. Oh.
Yeah, Mike Coleman, right? And we got Mike because Mike is about 6'4", 6'5". Got game, man. I mean, he got game. So I go to him, I say, like, yeah, me and Morris, we're gonna play with another older gentleman, and we need Gladys Knight. We need Diana Ross, right? And we want you to be our Diana Ross and our Gladys Knight. We're gonna be the Pips and the Supreme. We just need some young fella to carry us. Right? Yeah, right. So we get to the tournament, right? And the whole time, me and Morris is carrying the team, man. we literally balling out, right? Mike can't get a shot off, man. He bigger than us, you know, at this time, or skilled than us. And we end up carrying them all the way to the championship. Yeah, we made it to the championship.
Some young boys, that was tough.
Yeah, young boys. They under 30. They like between 35 and 38. Some white kids.
Yeah.
Right. And you know, after a while, man, stuff even out. You know, and that's why I tell people, man, when we was watching LeBron play this year, and he played great. He had a phenomenal season this year, right? But I knew I was done, right? When we got to the championship game and somebody shot the ball, and I looked up at the ball, right? And I knew I was old then because I looked up at the ball. Right? Because when you look up at the ball, somebody already got the ball. Right? So that's when you know you look first. You know, back in the day, you just go get it. Right? Yeah. Right? And the ball was on the floor. It was right there in front of me. And I looked at it. Man, somebody took that ball. Right? And in that championship game, I think it was either 15 minutes, who was winning after 15 minutes, or the first one to 21 points. Yeah. Right? And I think that between the two of us, that's the fastest I ever lost a game.
Yeah, I was Mike. Man, you was playing the two tough dudes who shutting them down, and Mike kept letting this man get the rebound. But I said, "Yo, Mike." Lowe's like, "Yo, Crute, leave him alone. It's just what it is. What it is." I was heated because he's the one that he let his.
Morris was mad at him, man. Morris was mad at Mike, man. He was mad. He was mad at Mike, and the thing is, we sat down, right? We sat down, like we fussing at Mike. Mike, you Diana Ross, you Gladys Knight. What happened, man? He's like, man, come on, man.
He was good. Like I like what you did. When I look back at it, he was like, yo, Crute, let's leave him alone.
Just leave him alone.
That's it.
Yeah, but that was the fastest I ever got beat. And we sat down, looked at each other, and what we say? When I looked at you, we said to each other, where we going to lunch?
Yeah, we didn't
even care that we lost. We like, where we going to lunch? He said, man, we going up to where we go?
We went to Rich Hill. We went
to Rich Hill to the Greek place, man. We ain't never played the game, right? That's how fast it was over, man. We didn't even think about it no more. I was like, man, where we going to eat lunch, man? I ain't coming back here no more, man.
We made it to the championship, though. We wasn't supposed to be there, man. It
was crazy. Every year I made it to the championship.
Me and you was in our 50s. Them guys in their 30s, man. It was a 30 and over league. We in our 50s. And because the guy who ran, he kept saying, yo, I know them two old guys, man. I know them. We were young boys.
Yeah, man. But that last game, man, we just ran out of gas. It was like, what?
It was back to back.
A
lot of games we played, man.
Yeah.
We wasn't.
Yeah.
No rest in between, man. We kept playing, man. Walt Frazier was there. Remember?
Walt Frazier, Earl of Pearl Monroe.
Had the Nick cheerleaders there watching us.
Yeah. We was getting down, man. We was balling until rigor mortis set in. Oh man, and we didn't know where Diana went, and Gladys left the scene. Oh man, those good times though, man. But Morris is still balling, man. Yeah, he be calling me, "Come on, man, I'm going to Florida to play." I'm like, man, I ain't going no Florida to play.
It's a lot of fun though, Lo.
It is. So we got some pictures, man.
That's my son, that's his boys, Juliet, Big Coop. They took me out one night somewhere. I don't know where they had me, and that's my friend Joe McBride, man. Look at Joe, man. He passed away, man. He went to Texas. He went to Mexico State.
Yeah.
Austin went to, and Charlie Chris. He was at that college, and they came to Yonkers in '88. And they got out of college. They was fresh out of college. They come to Yonkers with NBC, man. I put something on them. That's how we got.
Yeah.
They took me to Texas with them to playing tournaments, and in Texas, I told him how old I was. He couldn't believe it. He said, "Yo, I thought you was our age." No, y'all young boy. So they were good. He was a good guy, man. Yeah, that's in Florida. That's when I drove down there.
And Rick Pitino was playing?
Rick Pitino was playing. He was the best on his team, man.
Man, Rick Pitino was a player in high school, man.
He had a nice game. He was the best player on his team.
Well, he was All-American in high school, man.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And he played against a guy who was a great high school coach, Gary Denola, up at Schenectady High School, man. He won a bunch of state championships up there. Gary used to tell me, man, I had game, man. I should clean Rick Pitino's clock. You know,
he came over to us. We was playing in the 60s over. He was over there in the 50s. He's younger than us.
Yeah, yes. Yeah. Now Rick could play, man. I saw some pictures and highlights of Rick in high school, man. He was a ball, man.
When I went down to college last year, I got season tickets sitting right behind on his bench. So I flashed that picture on him. He came up and I want to talk to you. He showed me that picture. I was like, yo, you know Rick? Yeah, I met him in Florida. He played ball too.
Yeah, I think we got some other pictures up there too. Let's see what else we got. Oh, yeah, there.
That was a good day too, Lo.
Yeah, 3 the hard way.
I was nervous that day when you wanted me to get up there and speak in front of all them people with Gus. I didn't know them people, man. You said, yo, come up there and say something, man. We gave Gus his MVP that day, man.
Yeah.
And my man P. Sherrill, man.
Yeah.
Another good guy, man.
And you don't want to let everybody know, man, Gus is doing okay, man. I mean, they finally taken that trach. He had a trach. They finally taken that out. And he's breathing on his own. I think he got speech therapy, and he's learning to speech, and he's in intense therapy. He's been able to get him out the bed and into the wheelchair to do his physical therapy. Man, that's the latest I had heard on Gus. He's still in the fight. He's still battling. Got a long way to go to recovery, man, but we didn't know if he was going to get to this point, but we continue to pray for Gus, man. And that was an amazing day out there and back there with my man.
Yeah, that was a good day.
Jay Brushman. Jay Brushman was in his backyard.
He knew I was nervous. He said, yo, let's give Mars a chance. He's from Yonkers. He's one of my friends. I was a bit nervous. I'm like, man, what am I?
Oh man, yeah. And then used to come up and check out Isaiah's team.
That's my boy, Isaiah.
Yeah. And I mean the little guy, you said, man, that little guy can play, man. Now he's on varsity now.
That was a good team.
Huh?
Won the state championship.
Won a state championship this year on varsity. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. So all them guys, man, they little here, but they not little anymore.
Anytime you call me and you tell me he's out there with his players, I go to all of them games. You know that, Lo.
Yeah, man. You go to all the games. Yeah.
You tell me Isaiah's out there with his team, I'll be there, man.
I appreciate that. Yeah. And then we got I think we got a couple of more pictures here.
I think we got one.
One.
Who's that?
Oh,
It's the wallet. Look at that. Look at Lowe's. Look at that. Wow.
You looking like Dakota right there.
Right. That look like your granddaughter right there. That's yo.
Dakota look just like you. He look yeah, man. Yeah, I thought I had a picture up there with Charlie Chris. Man, it was a Charlie Chris picture in there.
I thought there was, but it might have got.
Charlie Chris was a good inspiration for me about the running, because that's one day I saw him, man. He was just running and running and running. I was behind a wall watching him and didn't let him know I was watching.
Yeah, no. I mean, I was always amazed at Charlie, man. We used to go see him play. And Charlie was 5'8",
man.
5'7", 5'8", man.
I always thought he was the best shooter I seen, because I seen him make 20 in a row.
yeah. Oh no, Charlie was a baller, man. He's the smallest guy on the floor.
Yeah.
This guy, man. It says once again a great podcast, Lowe's. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers, and good to see you all. See you again, Morris Crute.
Happy Father's Day to the fathers.
Yes, sir. Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. This has been fun, man, and I knew it would be fun. So
let me just say, when I was growing up, I used to go to see the games with my father, and Morris was one of the stars. One of the stars. I was a little girl. I was cheerleading. I was sitting in the cheerleading with Wanda, London, and Sheila Ty, and Dorothy Hicks back in those days. And I was just a little girl that my father would make them pick me up from school, and then Andre Battles. And I mean, that was some good. I mean, I didn't know, but it was so funny. I told Lowe's that, when I was growing up, I used to sit there and cheer with them so much. And I said to my father one day, I said, "Yo, I don't want to cheer. I want to be cheered for." I said, "I want to play basketball." And that's what I did. I became a basketball player, and my daughters became cheerleaders. My daughter became a cheerleader. So that's the other grandbaby.
That's the new one.
Yeah,
they were Hartley right here.
See, that keep you motivated, Lowe's. That keep you motivated. That keep you going, man.
Hartley.
She's named after Hartley Park.
Hartley.
She's a lot different than Dakota. He won't talk. He's gonna smile, but she gonna talk.
I hear you.
So Morris, tell me, what's your favorite high school moment as a player?
I'm telling you, nobody was beating Mount Vernon. Nobody whooped everybody. And I watched them whoop us twice when me sitting on the bench. I used to be heated because the coach would always push me to the back. And when we got in the county, one of the dudes couldn't play because he broke his leg, and he had the JV coach said, "Let Morris play." They're gonna put a JV guy in instead of me. And the JV coach said, "No, let's let Morris play. You got nothing to lose." That's when I went in and I said, "Yo, Ray, I got you, man. You're not dominating this game." That was the proudest moment of my life, to beat Mount Vernon with a team that we weren't supposed to even be in the county. We only won 7 games that year, lost about 15. They put us in a basket with losing teams and said, whoever's name come out, we're going to give it to New Rochelle. New Rochelle was number 1 in the county center that year. In Westchester, and Mount Vernon was 2. Gordon was 3. I didn't play none of those. All them teams slaughtered us. I didn't play none of those games. First game against New Rochelle, Hippie Smedley was the point guard. I used to be pissed with him because he really didn't know. But the coach loved him because he was star running back for the football team. He sprained his ankle the first 3 minutes of the game. Ankle was that big. And the JV coach said, "Let Morris play." And if you let me play, and that's when I went and shut Nut down.
I remember Nut, Kenny Washington.
Shut him down. And they was number one. They said, yo, Yonkers beat Morris. They let Morris play. They beat Yonkers. They beat Newark Shelter, number one team. And then we played Michael Linden and them in Roosevelt. Got them half court in the county center. Sent them home. So that's why I said, yo, Crute is playing now. So now we got Bernard, and Bernard's coach told Bernard that week, whenever you see Morris, don't speak to him. We all hung down on the same block. So I put out the block after I shot that shot on Michael Linden, and we won the county. And we had Bernard the next. I said, yo, Bernard, we got you, man. He goes, he wouldn't talk because don't talk to you when he see you because you talking people out their game.
Oh man,
we got them, man. That was the first. That was them 4 games, man. That's what put us on the map. We won them. That's when we won the county. They couldn't believe it, man. I was pumping Alvin Jessamine up. God bless him, man. One thing about him, he's always telling me, "Don't change, Mars. Don't change." He grabbed 26 rebounds. That record stands today in the county center.
Wow,
that's a lot of rebounds for one man.
Yes, it is. Yeah, he was snatching everything.
He's snatching everything, man.
Yeah.
And this thing would call me, yo, you get the rebound, kick it right to me. I was so proud of him that day, man. I always tell his brother that. He passed away too, Alvin, man. He always tell me, Mom, I don't care what nobody say, don't you never change. Because he knew I always wanted to play ball. He knew how hard I was about that basketball.
Right. So, Morris, our time has come to a close, man. And
that went quick, man.
Yeah, it went quick. I told you it would go nice and smooth and quick, you know. And it says, my dad, the man, the myth, the legend, happy Father's Day, great interview. And I read that one already. Yeah. So I want to say thank you, man. You all the way down in Atlanta.
Yeah,
Atlanta, Georgia, and enjoy the family, man. You know, and I've enjoyed this thoroughly, man. It's just been an amazing interview, man. I always enjoy communicating, talking with you, man. I always enjoy the time we spend together, man. We have a lot of fun, man.
You always have a lot of fun. Always, man, a good brother, man.
Yeah, and you too. You're really, really good. So, again, thank you, man, for taking time out on your Father's Day to spend this hour and a half, with me and my wife. I do appreciate it, man. And I mean, really, happy Father's Day, and you are truly a hero among fathers, and right, you didn't let not achieving your dream stop you from being a great father. Number one, a great man, father, and husband. So again, thank you very much, man. And man, I guess
an ordinary man doing extraordinary things.
Yeah, I like that. Ordinary man doing extraordinary things, man. And I tell you, the next time your son invites you to go to Hawaii for free.
Yeah, he wanted me to go.
don't talk about how long it is. You let me go.
Tell me, he got mad at me and my wife. I got y'all, man.
Right? I told him, what? He offered you to go for free and you didn't go to Hawaii? Man, you lost your mind. I would have said yes before he got all the words out. Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you so much. And Marsha, thank you as well. And we want to play this final video. And yeah, we're going to play this final video in the honor of we're going to let this be our last thing. We're going to sign off now. I want to say thank you, everyone, for your support of the Blueprint Podcast. Thank you for each and every week, man, of that support. And I want to say again, happy Father's Day to all the fathers, right? And again, to Morris, to Crute, to Pumpkin, I want to say thank you very much. And we're going to close with this. And Morris, stay on for a minute. Just stay right there.
We really hope you enjoyed this episode of Lowe's More, the Blueprint Podcast. Stay connected and follow us at our website, www.lowesmore.com. That's LOWESMOORE.com. You can also join the discussion on Twitter at Lowe's More and on Facebook at Lowe's More Jr. As always, thank you for pushing your mindset towards a better reality. This concludes the most thought-provoking portion of your day. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this podcast. We really hope you enjoyed this episode of Lowe's More, the Blueprint Podcast. Stay connected and follow us at our website, www.lowesmore.com. That's LOWESMOORE.com. You can also join the discussion on Twitter at Lowe's More and on Facebook at Lowe's More Jr. As always, thank you for pushing your mindset towards a better reality. This concludes the most thought-provoking portion of your day. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this podcast to stay fully up to date with everything we're up to. Until next time, be kind to yourself and each other.
What they teaching is a joke. I ain't buying it like I'm broke. Insufficient funds for insignificant.